Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Thanks for being early. We're going to get started here in just a minute. I'm going to get ready to put the Facebook live, and we'll be broadcasting live there too.
Good morning.
Let us know where you're all tuning in from too. I'm sure Heidi and Chris would love to see where all their RE/MAX friends are. And everyone that's on already, I'm sure you all have the hang of this, which is great. Hey, Matt from New Albany, down in southern Indiana. I'm glad we have sound and video, so that's great. There's a Q&A box at the bottom. There you go. Massachusetts is represented, so that's awesome. Okay, well, it looks like we still have folks joining us. We'll give it just a minute. Hi, Becky from Hudson. Becky Durham, you guys know her.
Oh, hi, Becky.
Hey, Becky.
Looks like we have a friend from Maine. Oh, Maine is such a beautiful state, especially this time of year. Dan Bertelson from Oregon, Wisconsin. Good to see everyone. Okay, well, we are going to go ahead and get started because I'm excited to have our guest panelists today. So welcome to everyone from RE/MAX that is joining us wherever you're coming from. I do want to mention, as we come to you, Heidi and Chris and I come to you with the utmost peace and positivity. We know there's a lot of unrest going on in the world. We know that a lot of you have concerns. Some of you may have had to talk to your clients about it. And we just want you to know that, you know, we are here, and at RE/MAX, we are all one, we're united, and we're going to get through this together. This has been an incredibly challenging year for so many reasons for all of us, but we are here and we want to go ahead and make sure that we continue to bring you the best educational content to help keep you moving forward, to keep you inspired, and to keep you motivated. And I know Heidi and Chris are going to do an amazing job bringing that information to you today. And real estate will make it through, and we will press on, and that's what we're doing today. So we are having today's session, we'll be focusing on virtual prospecting, because right now a lot of you are not able to go out and do the things that you usually do, like door knocking, like networking events, golf outings, none of those places that you normally go to get new business. That's not happening right now. So Chris and Heidi are going to be really great, and we're going to have them introduce themselves here in just a moment to share what they're doing in the world of lead generation. So before we get started, once again, I just want to quickly mention that there's a Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. There's also a chat box. I will monitor both of those throughout this webinar, and we want to hear from you. We need to hear from you. Chris and Heidi want to hear from you too. So we will be encouraging questions throughout the course of this hour. I just want to mention too, every week we tend to go over a little bit on these hours. So we understand if you have to leave at the top of the hour, Heidi and Chris and I are more than prepared to stay on for a few minutes extra to help you with that. Okay. All right. So I am going to allow our very special guests to introduce themselves, and we're going to start with Chris.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Chris Huss, and as Michelle mentioned, I sell real estate in the Rochester, Minnesota area, home of the Mayo Clinic. I have been in real estate now about 15 years, starting my 16th year. Most of my time has been spent with RE/MAX. I have worked on a team. I've worked by myself. I've partnered with an agent, and now me and Heidi are partners in doing real estate together. So it's a kind of a quick tidbit about me. I'm at home, so there are 2 children sleeping upstairs, along with a wife that's around the house, and there might be a dog barking every once in a while. So it's just kind of the new normal. So that's me.
Thank you, Chris. Heidi.
Hey, everyone. I'm Heidi Novak, born and raised in Rochester, Minnesota. So that definitely helps my business, and I'm proud to say I work and live in a community that I absolutely love. I've been selling since 2005. I've been a business owner as well since about 2000. So well connected in the community. I'm at home like Chris, and I have 3 kids that keep me super busy, 2 dogs, and a very supportive husband that took everybody out of the house. So if you hear something, that means it was unplanned. I don't know. Someone will show up, UPS, you never know. So we keep very busy around here.
Oh, thank you, Heidi, so much. And I really appreciate it. So they are both a great team, and they're both incredibly generous. So we'll thank you in advance for sharing your best practices with all your RE/MAX, all the RE/MAXers out there. So there's quite a few people watching on Facebook Live right now. So shout out to the Facebook Live audience, as well as those of you here on the Zoom webinar. So, all right. So let's get a little bit more in depth into your backgrounds. So let's start with Chris. Chris, one of the most important things that everyone wants to know is, what is your why? Why did you get into real estate? Why do you continue to do it? What really drives you on a daily basis? And tell us a little bit more about that.
Sure. The why kind of happened by accident. I used to be in retail management for Target and relocated to Rochester, and was one of those destinations that was in the Minneapolis region. It's where I kind of grew up and went to high school. So my thoughts and feelings to everyone up there, my family, my friends. I hope you're all doing well and find a little positivity in life today. But as I was switching careers, I found the draw to real estate, and I hit the floor running. The biggest, questions when you start out is, the missing that paycheck every other Friday and trying to figure out how you're going to generate business and be active. Now, I had the ability of working for Target was to be in the community, deal with, the CEO of Target down to the first job for a lot of my team members. And after a while, we decided that Rochester was the place we wanted to settle down. My wife was able to get a nursing job at the Mayo Clinic. And so it just all kind of fit together to do a shift. And I researched a lot of different industries and found out that real estate was a good fit for me. And I had some supporters in the industry, and things transpired pretty well. So pretty excited to be here today and still doing what I've really grown to love and meet new people, and just that excitement of finding that right house for the person, whether it's their first house or it's their forever house. It's rewarding and challenging, and you never know what's going to happen every day. I apologize in advance if my internet cuts out today, because I'm getting a sprinkler system outside of our house, and I hope they don't pull the line, snap the cord. So every day is you just don't know what's going to bring you. So.
Right, for sure. Well, we hope that doesn't happen either, Chris. Thank you. So Heidi, tell us, you mentioned a little bit about being a former business owner. So being an entrepreneur here at RE/MAX must have been a really seamless transition for you. Tell us what your why is, and what yesterday and today, what is your why?
Yeah, you're correct when you say entrepreneurial. I think when you have that entrepreneurial spirit, it's a fire inside, and it's hard to put out. So I previously owned a couple of salons here in Rochester. I loved the management. I loved taking care of my employees. I loved the connection with the clients that chose to come into our salon and day spas. So that was really important to me. In the meantime, my husband started selling real estate, and so as he became a little bit more busy and the business took off, I got a license just to simply support him. On my days that I had a little bit more time, I could support him a little bit, learn about the business, and just be a little bit more connected. And I think that really went back to, my entrepreneurial spirit. As a business owner, you're always looking to gain, and where can you, build more and have those connections that circle back to your own personal business or feed into another business. So because my husband had a business, I had a business, it just seemed like a great opportunity for both of us to be, you know, connected in the community and work together. So he sold until about 2000. Ooh, we all that have been in the industry know those bad years. I would say 8 and 9, where the market just wasn't as strong. He decided to get out. We had a young family, kind of what Chris was saying too, when you want that paycheck or need that paycheck every 2 weeks. Young family, we knew that one of us, we both couldn't be entrepreneurs, we both couldn't be business owners. We just needed to make a strong family decision. And so he's still in sales. He works for Shaw Industries, a great company. And it's nice that we have the support and the benefits, and we were able to raise our kids knowing that, you know, one of us has the benefits and the steady income, and I can continue to have that entrepreneurial spirit and go out and grow. So, you know, those years were kind of quiet for us. And when the market came back, his business or past clients also came back. And that's where I think I really started to see that connection of when you do something that you love and you help people purchase one of their largest investments, they come back to you. They come back to you because they trust you. And so his clients are coming back. They knew me because I was part of his team. And so really the market took off and I took off with it, and it's been great. You know, it's an industry that I love, and I think it goes back to my other businesses. When you get up every day and your why and your purpose is to help people, whether it's feel good about themselves, improve themselves, or help them find, again, either an investment or their forever home, it gets you up and it gets you rolling through the day, and it gets you through many years of your days turn into weeks really quick, weeks to months, and the time flies. So that's my purpose. That's my why. I feel really great that my practice is slow and steady enough that, you know, Rochester is a big, small town. We've always said it. We're growing fast and furious, but it still has an ultimate small town feel. So I can go to Target, I can go to Quick Trip, and I see clients, and it's an awesome feeling when they walk up and they say, you know, great to see you, and we love our house, and our kids are growing. So it's different when you work in a community like this, where you're always going to see people, you're always going to be around. But when people know you sell real estate, they come up to you at the ball games, they come up to you at school, and they want to talk. They want to know about the industry. So it's what I love.
Right. And you're not getting to do all that right now, but as some states are opening up more than others as far as social distancing goes. But that's amazing, Heidi, because you already had that instilled in you, that you had your own business. It was up to you to make that business thrive and to get that, to go after the leads and the new clients. And that's what obviously a great fit for you in real estate. So, all right. Can you tell us a little bit, Chris, how the team between you and Heidi are structured?
I listen to Heidi.
Well played. Well played, Chris.
No, I think it's really a collaboration. I am technically the team lead, but at any point, I value Heidi's opinion and other agents around my office. Our office really works well together. People approach me, I approach them, but having that one-on-one or small group kind of connection, I think really benefits our clients the most. So we have an exact go-to when we're busy with our families, we're busy on vacation, or whatever the situation is. And, we're working together and checking out different avenues. Heidi is technically more technical on the TikToks and all the fun stuff, and experiencing a lot of new things. So she's getting me up to speed on some of the stuff. I kind of stay tried and true to some of the just video chats and some of the technology that kind of comes along with the listings.
That's great. That's great. Well, and just so everyone knows, I'm going to share my screen right now and show you their contact information, because we want to thank them for doing this for us today. First of all, they're giving us their time. They're giving us their resources. They're giving us, very special attention, and we appreciate that, and taking time away from their own business. But please take note of their contact information. Think about Chris and Heidi if you have clients that are moving to Rochester. As they said, it's a big, small town. It's a beautiful city. I've been there myself, and it's keep them in mind. And from the Twin Cities area, if you have clients moving to the Twin Cities, it's what, about an hour, Chris?
Yeah, just an hour, and you know, we have a lot of connections. If you start with us, we'll be able to mention some of our friends that are just in the right communities for you. So.
Excellent. Well, that's fantastic. So like I said, take note of that. You can also find them on Max Center, and they would appreciate your referrals. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the screen share right now. So let's kind of move on. And I think everyone is, on every one of these, we've had each guest share with the audience, what have you done to make adjustments to your business? And I know that you may have to make more based on what's going on, because you're very close to where all this began, the current state of what's happening in the country. But what have you both done in making those adjustments? We'll start with Heidi this time.
Sure. So, looking back at the time at home, I've worked primarily from home. So I think for a lot of people, that adjustment of just like finding their new comfort in an office, kids, pets, whatever it may be. I was lucky in that stance that I've worked from home primarily. I do go into the office. You know, if Chris and I are working on something, I have a place to go in the office, and I love the camaraderie at the office. But by day one of, shelter in place, I was kind of sitting in the seat that I'm comfortable in, and doing what I've already done in my office. So really, I wanted to sit back and take the time, because I knew it was going to be a long run, and I think we're still in for a long run, and adjust my practice a little bit, in the sense that, keeping a schedule is so important, but adding something new, because this pandemic is new. Life is going to be new. And so I made an effort every day to find some type of video, webinar, anything that I could go log into and learn. In fact, it was kind of an ongoing joke. Every time Chris and I would miss a phone call, I'd text him back and I would say, I'm learning, I'm on a call, you know what I'm doing. So it was really good, and it became habit. And that's a big part of real estate. And it's a hard part of real estate is, our phone rings, we get really excited, and you want to go out, you want to get that showing done, or you need to go help somebody that's locked out. Everybody knows it's in the industry. Our days are not the same, but finding consistency in the schedule. And that's what I did. And it takes a lot of time. I think I fall in between that category of like, I totally embrace technology, but some of the younger agents, and I love learning from them, and I love how, it's just kind of second nature for them. I fall in the middle, where technology can be frustrating, and but I'm learning it. And so a lot of the videos that I watched, I was super excited, and you get off of this hour video and you're like, oh my gosh, I've got this new plan and I can do this. And then 30 minutes later, I try to log in and I can't even log in. And then I'm frustrated. So I found myself embracing the learning online, but then slowing down. And I think in the past, what I would have done is I've done videos, and I really like to learn online. But when I got frustrated and couldn't do it, my next step was to go through the office and find somebody that could help me. So I think the biggest skill set that I'm going to walk away with is that I'm taking the time to slow down. And if I don't get it, I can't log in, something happens, I have to go back and relearn it. So I watched a lot of videos 2 and 3 times. It's a lot of hours of sitting, at home, but we have the hours, pandemics keep you in your seat, right? We couldn't really go anywhere else. But
Right.
It's a great skill that I'm confidently going to move forward with, because it takes time. You have to slow your roll, and you have to really take the time to learn this stuff, because it's not easy. And again, I applaud anybody who can jump on and learn stuff like this. And like I said, I'm kind of in the middle. I got to take the time to learn it, and there's no one else around me. My kids have been great. They're helpful, but finding the tools, especially with RE/MAX, we have endless tools and videos. And if you just take the time to learn it, it's so powerful. It's so powerful.
Definitely. Thank you, Heidi. Chris, how about you? Give us a quick overview of what you've made in the way of adjustments.
Yeah, I mean, to piggyback Heidi, with all the videos that the back end, the Mac Center has, and just learning all the more intricacies to the design center has been hugely beneficial. But the biggest thing that I've kind of been forced to do is the video chats or the selfie videos, the updates to clients. I've had fun with it. Just when you're not able to be face to face, being on the phone with the video chat or the FaceTime. I use a platform called BombBomb, which is able to take the videos and send a link, so you're not sending large files. And so it's been very receptive. And then it also has some tracking ability, so you can see when people open up the videos and you anxiously wait. It's kind of like seeing those 3 dots after you send a text message. And you're like, oh, what's going to be the message back? And a lot of times they send it back right away after that short video. And I'm using them more right now just with my current clients, but I can see the huge benefit of using it for prospecting and just having some canned videos of automated responses and stuff. But as we all are, we're learning as we're going and trying to embrace new stuff.
So there's a couple of comments already. So Cheryl's saying that Heidi is telling her story. She feels frustrated too when she tries something new and doesn't have anyone to go to the office for help. But she had felt that way before as well. So that's good to know. Also, Heidi, someone's asking, what is your TikTok username? They want to follow you.
See, when you ask a question like that, I look for my kids. I don't know. I'll let me find it. I will dig it up. I'm gonna have to do that, but
okay.
It's kind of funny. Every time they say TikTok, I'm like, oh, it falls in that line of, trying all things. There's so many things on social media, but just to kind of play off that and probably just to give a background of where that came from. So my kids I have a freshman in college, which she's wrapped up her first freshman year. I have a sophomore in high school, and I have a 6th grader. They're all girls, and they're tech savvy. And if you watch what they're doing online and, the things that they can do, the things that they learn, I was really kind of playing off of that. And really what happened was early in the pandemic, one of my college age friend or daughter's friends had said something about a TikTok that I was in. And of course it was, we're home at night. What else are we going to do? We've got to have some fun. And the kids started asking for more TikToks. And what they did say, which was kind of that coined phrase of where is Ella's mom and her real estate TikToks? And I was like, okay, so these are kids who are in college. Not every college kid can afford a home. But the kids then, it's like a brand awareness, right? Like once you let your prospects and your sphere and your neighbors, everybody know that you sell real estate, why not make that bigger? And so now the kids have asked where the real estate stuff is at. So I was like, you know what, if they like to see it and they comment, why not? And so it's just using one more platform that was actually just to have something a little bit more light. I definitely feel like in our industry, we can come across as, we're trying to always brand ourselves and we're always trying to push ourselves. And I feel like if you circle back and kind of show your lighter side, people appreciate that. And so it is funny, there is some TikToking happening, but it's also Snapchat and Instagram, it's everything. So
right. Well, I have to admit, I have a TikTok account, but I haven't done my first video yet. So I'm probably in the same boat as most of the audience here. So thank you for that. So let's talk about generating leads online, because we are talking about virtual prospecting today. And so share with us, we'll start with Chris. What are you doing, or unless you want to speak on behalf of the team, what are you doing to generate online leads? Are you buying them, and what else? Digital ads, let us know what you're doing.
Sure. I do digital ads through Facebook. A lot of those are going to be more like promotion of listings, open houses. back when we could do those. But it's more about the listings, just to kind of give the clients exposure. Obviously, we've moved away from the print advertising, and we got to find new avenues to spread the word that different houses are out there, and availabilities for neighborhoods and price points. I do purchase leads through Realtor.com. I have also used Homes.com before, Zillow, and probably a couple other ones that, we all get the calls every day. I got the latest and greatest is do you realize your Google page is not showing up correctly, and we can help you. So, you got to filter through those calls. And AdWorks is another company that's trying to, take the, the admin out of your business, or, be their admin for you. So, it's hard because the ROI, the return on investment for the online ads or the online buying of leads, you have to sift through a lot of leads to find the right one. But, whatever platform you're using, I found, so I've gravitated to Realtor.com for, based on price for what I'm getting, has been the biggest, probably, fit for me. And I use their app. And so when the lead comes in through their app, then I stay in the app to text message, email, track, and follow. And it's been a better success rate on the leads that have come in. So
that's great. So responding right away is the key.
Oh yeah, we live on our phones, and it's good and bad, and you have to be kind of engaged and be willing to, and when I think most of the apps or most of those situations, you can set up autoresponders. I got your message and I'll respond to you in a couple minutes, and you just got to make sure that you can follow up. And when just like when you meet someone in person, be genuine, be yourself, set realistic expectations for when you can get back to them, and then get back to them, and try to, if you say you're going to do one thing, do two things. If you said you're going to email or snail mail something to them, do it when you say to, so you don't lose that engagement.
Absolutely. So could you share with us, and I want to hear from Heidi too on that, why you chose Realtor.com? Because I think I get a lot of questions as a trainer, especially technology trainer. Hey, Michelle, should I buy Realtor.com leads? Should I buy Zillow leads? Why? What's better? Could you share what your decision process was behind Realtor.com, for instance?
So actually right now, the way Chris and I have kind of, with our partnership and how we're fielding leads and what's coming in and what's going out, he's managing the Realtor.com, and I'm not paying for any leads right now. And so that was probably one of my bigger shifts in the last couple of years, is I had paid for Zillow, Realtor.com. And really what I decided to do in the last year is take the RE/MAX resources and run with them. They're provided for you, they're ready for you. And so, and when you can circle back to Chris if you want to keep talking Realtor.com, but one thing I just wanted to point out when you're talking about virtual leads and getting the attraction is when I sat down and learned about HomeBot, I immediately jumped on, got all my clients involved, and it's a great interaction between you and your client. And again, you see what they're you see what they're doing, you see the interaction. And so Chris is managing the Realtor.com for us.
And I have completely scaled back the online lead investments that I once was spending, because I was spending on Zillow and Realtor.com, and I was in several different zip codes. So currently I've scaled it back, so I still have a presence out there, but not to the severity. And I was looking at the budgets, every year when you're doing your taxes, you're like, I can't believe all this money is going out, and trying to connect the dots on where the sales were happening and where the clients were coming from. And you know, even shortly into the career, the referral, you know, the one client that you're actively shopping with is and the listings that you have, those are your best resources to, like, that's all they're talking about. You know, when you get a new car and you drive down the road, you have never seen this car on the road before, but now you own the car and now they're everywhere. So when you're engaged in a transaction with a buyer and they're actively searching, and you know, that's like their focus is like, they know every house in that price range in their region, almost, you know, as well as you do, and sometimes even more. They're talking to everyone about the situation, and if you can be that phone a friend, that bright spot, you know, that person that they're always talking to, your name's going to come up in conversation. And so sometimes it just takes you reminding them that you can help more than one person, and not to take away from their interaction, but to, you know, get those referrals from them. And so I have scaled back the online investments and have tried to really narrow down that, you know, that sphere of influence that we all talk about when we first start, and do the digital stuff with them and the chats.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. So what are your go-to apps, programs, and systems that you use to not only virtually prospect, but to manage those leads too? And Heidi, you mentioned HomeBot, and talk about some of the other tools you use to make your life a little bit easier, but to also keep the business flowing in. We'll start with you, Chris.
Obviously HomeBot, which is a great way to engage people that own property and own houses so they can see.
Can you explain a little bit more about that to the audience?
Come on, Heidi, you got this one?
I'll be wait. Yep, I'm a good wingman. So really, I think it was last year, our office had the hour-long meeting on how to use it. And, you know, I think like a lot of our tools, you sit back and you're like, okay, do I have time to add one more thing in, and how can I add it? But I sat back and even reaching out locally in our office and our Twin Cities offices, the support I got to jump onto HomeBot. So essentially what I did is you take all of your clients that have purchased a home, and the system lets you put their name, their address, and it pulls everything up for them. And so the minute they get the email from you, again, you see that they've opened it. And again, they can start kind of going back and forth and asking you questions. And then if they feel like the information isn't quite correct, or a lot, you know, really what has happened in the last year that I've had everybody on HomeBot, with the amazing rates, they've gone in and they've refied, and they're so excited as homeowners to go into that HomeBot system and update. You know, HomeBot will update it, but they're usually pretty proud about their new rate. And so they'll go in and update, and I get notification. But it's also a great source to reach out. If people have that question and they're not really sure what to do, you field the questions and then get them to the right lender, get them back to their lender, get them to, you know, we've got our results mortgage. And so they're able to find that information, you know, accurately, really quick. And that's what they want, instant gratification. They want to know what their house is worth. But the system also goes, for anyone who's not familiar with it, you know, they get a monthly email. The first thing I did is I put myself on it. I put myself, my investment property on it. I get a monthly email. And even as, you know, I'm a realtor, but as a consumer, I open it up and I'm like, wow, this is really cool. You see what your home value has done. It shows you, it breaks it down neighborhood. It breaks it down, you know, in your region, what's selling, what your values have done, but it also breaks it down further, and it lets you know, as a homeowner with your investment, what you can do. Should you take that money? Should you invest it, reinvest it into the house? Is that a better, and it breaks it down, you know, by price and investment. What's the best investment with the equity you have in your home? And so it's been a great tool. And like I said, I get my own reminders. So as a consumer, I get it, I love it, but it also then reminds me to go out and just follow up and say, hey, how are you liking HomeBot? Right. I've put on, I went through my neighbors. I'm in a really great book club that I love. And I'm always very cautious with neighbors and things to not, push our product, and I want to be there for me, and I want to be there for my friends. I don't want to go there to constantly sell real estate. But
Right.
We all know when you're at a book club or you're with friends, they want to know what's going on in the market, and I live in the same neighborhood with them. And so confidently, I will tell you that every book club, they talk about real estate. And so this pandemic, I had a day where one of my neighbors had sent a message about a home that had been sitting, vacant. And I reached out to all 20 members of our book club, and I said, hey, if you guys have some time, if you're interested, I've got this amazing tool. All 20, yep, sign me up. So quickly I got everybody on it, and they just loved it. And so it's just, you don't have to necessarily use it with your past clients. You can invite anybody in who has a home and is interested in knowing what their property is doing, the equity that they have, what they can do. What does it look like if your property is going to be an Airbnb? Should you sell it? Should you buy a secondary investment property? So it's a great tool, and I'm grateful that I was able to get the education from RE/MAX, sit down, and again, along that techie line, of course, the first day I sat down and decided to jump into HomeBot, it was a little bit, but again, use your resources.
Well, Heidi,
Everyone at RE/MAX will help you
Anytime you're
out.
trying out something new, it's always going to be like, where's this going? And testing it on yourself is the thing that I
always start test it on yourself.
so there is a question already about HomeBot and what you're talking about. I'm just curious, is that something you're paying for on your own, or does RE/MAX Results provide that for you?
RE/MAX.
Okay, so just so everyone understands, so it can be bought at the brokerage level. To broker owners that are on this webinar right now, you can get an enterprise account with HomeBot. So one of the questions is, so Becky Durham is their corporate trainer for RE/MAX Results. She said, yes, you did a great description of HomeBot. So
Thanks, Becky.
Heather is asking that she's been looking into HomeBot, but she said, do you need a lender to sponsor you? And if so, she hasn't found one yet, and any suggestions on who to get. So
That's a really
yeah. Do you need a lender to sponsor you, I guess is the question.
I guess we'd have to look into that. It's above my pay grade.
Okay.
Yeah,
Maybe
I would want to give.
Becky can answer it. Becky.
I was gonna say, I'm like, can we bring Becky back? So because we're getting our HomeBot sponsored through RE/MAX Results, then RE/MAX Mortgage is the lender that's connected, which is great. And I love the partnership because again, even if the consumer has a quick question, the Results Mortgage is right there to answer. And so it's a great first step. And everybody as a consumer, you need to go out and find somebody that you're comfortable working with, find somebody that's got the product for you, but having Results Mortgage or a lender right there connecting to HomeBot is going to be your first need.
That's fantastic. So, all right. So we don't know any specific pricing right here, but that is something you can all check out. So thanks for sharing that. So let's shift gears a little bit. We talked a little bit about technology. Actually, Chris, some of the other tools you use for technology, what are you, especially in the world of photography and video?
Yeah, I think in 2017, I was at R4 and I had been eyeing up Matterport cameras and like that technology. I thought it's where things needed to go for my business. And I think I went back to the Market Square, 3 days in a row and talked to that same vendor, and he just had to be eyeing me up knowing that I was really going to be committed to this. And so I did invest in a Matterport camera, and it's a game changer for me. It just having the access on my phone to immediately hand over a virtual tour to a client or email them right away when they want to see a property and they want to see how room layouts are. This is one of our listings in Southwest Rochester, and you can zoom in, zoom out. We can create videos through this. You can jump from floor to floor. You can look top down. A lot of the industry through this pandemic has switched to this. Photographers are now, there's a lot of local photographers that are participating in this. I'm also excited to start getting into some like drone technology and videos, like professional looking videos of the properties. There's a couple local companies that do a fabulous job and just kind of interviewing them and talking through that. And I really anticipate by the end of summer, we're going to be pretty active in that field also. And it's not just we're not going to step away from Matterport. We're not going to step away from professional photos. We're just adding to the bucket.
For sure. And, and everyone here at RE/MAX INTEGRA knows we did just enter a partnership with RE/MAX 360. Matterport has been around for longer, of course, and it's an amazing quality. The cameras are very pricey for Matterport unless you have someone doing it for you. So if you're looking for a more cost-effective way, there's always other options, but the whole concept of 3D tours is phenomenal. It's not an option anymore, is it? You have to go there.
I mean, it's as simple as, I think anyone that becomes a premier agent through Zillow, they even have a platform of doing 360 views. You just have to take the time and energy to do it. I encourage people to use what RE/MAX has on their back end with the design center, with those virtual tours. Zillow has things that are free to use and 2-minute videos that you're able to do. I'm a big advocate of taking advantage of that. If there's stuff out there that is a low cost, even the investment of this Matterport, if you were to hire a photographer to do the one thing, there's so many options once you have it done to scroll back and like someone has a question about the utility room of, is there a water softener or what is there an outlet on that wall? And you can literally go into the program, get the answer, take a screenshot, send it over to them, and they're just amazed.
That's fantastic. So what role does video play in your prospecting?
Heidi? So video is very important. I mean, people want to see you. So like when you're making the videos or you're FaceTiming, or like I do those video updates for the progress of different houses. They do work with some new construction. So not having to meet the clients out in the situation where we're all supposed to stay at home. I've had fun with those videos and, and it's informative and they can see you and they have a good sense of everything that's going on. Oh, this is a fun one here.
Okay. You have a special guest here.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone, Chris Huss here at RE/MAX Results. Just kind of sitting here, taking a deep breath and kind of absorbing it all in and hoping that you and your family are being safe and enjoying this time together. Me and Molly here just kind of catching up on a little sunshine today, and I think the birds are out. Molly's got an eye on those things over there. So here's to a happy Thursday. Hope everyone's doing well. Have a great day.
Nice. So who did that go to, Chris? Who saw that?
A lot of my past clients and like current people I was working with, just kind of, some of it was a blast and some of it was like sent out with a little private message. I think I put it on Facebook also, just it was kind of like the early part of the pandemic where, you just wanted to kind of be out there and let people know that you're still alive.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, cute at the end of that, you were pointing out birds to your dog. So, all right, we'll play this one too.
Well, update.
Have to play the whole one.
Here at Foxfield. Snowing out here. It's April 4th. I had a tiger going on in the background for fun. I was one of the few or the many that last weekend, ended up watching Tiger King and learned all about Joe Exotic and Carol Backen and who knows? Crazy. Did she do it? I don't know. If you've seen it, send me a message back. I'm just curious how many people out there actually tuned in for that in the crazy stay-at-home world we're in right now. But anyways, I want to kind of give you an update on the townhouses. All right, let's flip it around. Drive down the street here real quick.
Yeah, this is me just having fun, I joke around when we're with clients and, I think a lot of my past clients have ended up being really good friends. And, it's like Heidi said, when you're walking around town, you're at your kids' games, you know, you're seeing there's connections.
Yeah.
You know, we're lucky we're in that type of community where, you know, everyone is like that, and you can go to a restaurant and you will see someone. We can't wait for restaurants to open back up, but you know,
Right.
we'll get back to those things
Right.
pretty soon, I hope.
Well, and the key is when you do videos at the local businesses is to tag them in those posts, right?
Yeah.
They're small business owners. That's how that works. Heidi, apparently we know that you are a TikTok fan, and what else are you doing with videos?
You know, Chris is really good about just the candid video and just sending it. And I need to be better about that, and that's on my list. But really, I think with the time that I had, and I'm a big fan of Brian Buffini, Tom Ferry, and so I watch videos from them and learn. But I wanted to take a step back and kind of like that first video that you saw of Chris, it's the beginning of the pandemic. And really moving forward, I think that our Facebook feeds can be a little noisy. We've got a lot going on. Everybody's got a lot of emotion. And again, I think moving forward and not constantly trying to sell a product, I think we're ultimately trying to sell ourselves and have people trust us. We're trying to sell trust. And so I wanted to scale back a little bit and use a couple different, you know, yes, I TikTok. I will say that's like we talked about earlier, it's a little bit more to engage with my kids. If you know your
Right.
people and know their platform, and my kids are really loving their time on social media. So I also decided that I would brush up and kind of sharpen my Instagram, and I wanted to sharpen my Facebook. And again, we all know as consumers, we all know as realtors, you scroll and you're bored. You see something and, you know, we know who sells real estate. And more often people know that we sell real estate. But what I found is by taking some time and sending them some things that were a little bit more candid, I actually got likes and comments from people that were really, they surprised me. People that are, you know, quote unquote friends, we've been friends for a long time, but maybe I haven't seen a like or a comment from them or even seen them in person for 15 years. And so the things that I was posting, my husband is kind of a secret foodie. And so we're cooking every day. And I started sharing videos, and I didn't realize that the attraction that I would get from his videos, it was great because people love to see what he's cooking. It's great because people love to learn, but it also is engaging for all of us. You know, I'm not then on Facebook selling a product. I'm letting you know who I am. And I think that that's important for people. So along with, you know, of course we try to manage our personal page plus our business page and try to connect them. I'm finding different things to change it up. So I started using Hootsuite. I will say it's newer for me. I know Hootsuite's been around a long time, but so far I'm liking it. I can make one post, and, you know, with our strategies every day, you know, write those letters, make those phone calls, and get on social media and make those posts. To me, it was a little daunting to go on and post and post and post. And, you know, I kind of revert back to that. It was a little bit of a trend early pandemic where they would show, you know, in the Foursquare, they would show your Facebook post, your Instagram post, your LinkedIn post, and then maybe your, what were they calling it? You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
So kind of like that, like your audience is different on each platform. And so Hootsuite's great because I can make a post and share it, and it's one post and it goes throughout all my social media. So I found that just to, you know, again, finding those tools, the pandemic had me sit down, research, learn it. I'm using it and it's great. But I also, again, really wanted to have my presence be a little bit more candid. And I am just who I am, a mom, a wife, a friend, living in the same times that everybody else is. And so I'm trying to send things that are, you know, a little bit more intentional. Like the other day, my husband was power washing our deck. That went to my business page, and it was more of a, you know, let's clean up our decks kind of a thing. So it's something that I'm trying. It's something that, you know, I take everybody's feedback when I am in social situations, business lunches, and people, you know, make comments, and you hear that one comment where they say, oh, so-and-so is over posting, or so-and-so, we all know that they're a lender because their lender feed is going on. I take that to heart. I want people to, you know, be appreciative of what I do, but feel like I'm also, because I am intentional about, you know, letting you know that I sell real estate, but letting you know that I'm a part of the community.
Right. And I think, you know, Heidi, you said something that's really important that everyone wants to know is when it comes to social media, what do I post on my business page? What do I post on personal? And the last thing you want to do is to completely just post listing after listing after listing. A fun video like that one, a posting of your husband cleaning your deck. I mean, that's different. That's going to give you, and plus the best practice is to post your business page and share to your personal timeline.
Yeah.
Then you get more eyes on it. Right. And I'm
yeah,
sure
and that's what I try to do. And I sat down and tried to make a list, and it kind of started at home with the pandemic of my husband and I joking, because our kids kind of, you know, they get through their school stuff in a couple hours, and then we've got another 10 hours of day of what are we going to do? And my husband started this like kind of life 101. And it was really kind of the basics of, you think that you know it, but you don't. And so I started doing some things like that. And I want to continue. It's little things of, you know, painting and, you know, fixes, easy fixes. Some things are not easy and some things are. And so again, it's just being a little bit more candid without being that over poster of, I've got a new listing. I'm doing this. It's more of, I'm intentional about just, you know, being me and helping you out if I can.
Yeah, that's I completely agree. You have to have a filter, and you have to be conscious of what you're posting, because if you're, you know, some of those, I guess, advisors, or like Gary Vee, he just says post, but you know, at a certain point, you're just like delete, and unfriend or unfollow, and you know, that's not the goal. Your goal is to have engagement. So, you know, some of my best posts have been candid ones, or, you know, when we were designing a house or a new construction, is like, which colored door looks better? Like our old house, I was repainting the front door, and like that post like blew up because people had, you know, red door, blue door, you know, and it was fun because I wanted information, and there was people out there that are willing to.
Right. So let's move over to the leads that you're actually generating and how you manage those, because that's really important. So let's talk about CRMs. And, you know, I always say, and I said this last week on this Tech Tuesday, with the best CRM is the one you're actually going to use in your business on a daily basis, the one that you like, that makes sense to you. You know, a lot of people have Boosh, some have top producers, some have, share with us what you're doing with your team with a CRM and how you're staying in touch with your database, because that's also prospecting, is farming your database. So Chris, we'll start with you.
It's whatever you're using, you got to use it. So I've tried top producer and market leader, and you know, contactually, and now using Privis, you know, through what my broker offers, has been a good fit. You know, it's another one of those things that, you know, if you have a service that works for you and you're able to engage in it, use it. If you went out to the Google machine, there's a lot of low price or low entry barrier CRMs that you can use. It's just setting it up, using it, and reflecting back on it.
Yeah. And what are your touch points with your database, and how often throughout the year?
Well, we've kind of, what, pardon?
Besides video.
Oh yeah. Well, in February, we had a great client appreciation where we invited people to the office. Heidi and myself partnered with like 6 other agents, and we had a good thing. And obviously the world has shifted a little bit, so we got to think of, you know, how to have that engagement virtually, which I don't have a great idea that's solid right now, but you know, we're hoping as things open up that we're going to definitely have a fall event or an end of summer event. On social media, I've been posting like my favorite movies every Wednesday. if you're out there and you find me, you're gonna find out that I like the Step Brothers, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and classic comedies. I can watch them over and over again. So there's a local comedy club in town that we're thinking about like renting out when they do open to just have an adults only. Just I'm gonna probably get roasted terrible.
Yeah.
But, it'll be fun.
Out there.
Yeah.
No, that's great. I like that.
But it's if you get the weekly emails from the product like HomeBot, you're engaging your current people that you're doing probably weekly, daily, kind of squirrel mentality a little bit. But sending out those quarterly, at least touches to that sphere that knows you and they already like you, and they've mentioned you before. Those are the people that I've kind of found in this situation that you really need to gravitate towards, and kind of like a new agent, start with the people that are right around you, that believe in you, and are going to be there for you.
For sure. So before we go to Heidi, when it comes to the leads that are coming into your database right now, what have you found that has worked best when it comes to follow-up, and how often? Because that's always the question that everyone has. I tried a couple times, or worse yet, there's only an email. What are some tips that you could share with everyone on how you follow up with those online leads?
Dogs barking, doors knocking, it's so hilarious. It's like sometimes you have to like phrase the questions like, I'm waiting for your response. When's, I'm available these two, just like when you on a phone, like I'm available these 2 times, which one works better for you?
Right.
Kind of don't leave it so open-ended or yes, no question. Okay.
Heidi, how about you with online lead response?
So one thing I did different this winter through pandemic is I think in the past when I had those really cold leads sitting there, and some of the leads that we all know we have and they're frustrating and there's no response, I didn't stop. And that was probably the first time ever that in my career where I think in the past I would have said, you know what, if you don't want to respond, you have something else going on and that's fine, or you found somebody else. And so I took the time and did a continual, like once a week, about the same time.
Right.
And I found amazing results. The turnaround where people then finally, when it was good for them, they came and they responded with either, via email or text. And it's, I've had them out looking at houses now. And so I think that was probably, one thing that when I say I needed to just slow down a little bit and go back to my practice, and there's going to be things that come out of a pandemic that are good. We have to find silver lining. And for my practice, it was to slow down and go back to the foundation of real estate and what works. And so, like Chris said earlier, like he's paying for leads, I'm not. And so when leads are coming in, I have the opportunity to work with OpCity. Great opportunity. I'm newer, probably 6 months into it. And I've had a couple that have just been, they call, you try to field everything you can, it's not going to work out. But recently I've had 3 that are working out. And so again, just using those resources, but staying after people. I think we forget because we're kind of go, go, go. We get in the momentum. We want to book a showing and we want to get out there and look. Not everybody's ready to work at our pace. And so that's kind of the other thing is that, taking the time to just, maybe monitor it, same time each week, sit down, send a text, send an email, and really stay on it. That was, it was amazing. People that I think that I've tried for over a year and didn't get a response and then finally got a response, or people that had said, you always get that email, you've been working with somebody, they email you and say, we really loved working with you. We just feel like it's not the right time. You know, either something's happened personally with them, or and then you're a little, you know, you feel a little deflated. You're like, oh, we looked at all those houses. Keep those ones, keep those names top awareness. And those are the ones I've also gone after, and just say, hey, just checking in. This house popped up, and it's legit. I see a house that reminds me of them. I'll say, this house reminds me of what we were looking at. How are you doing? And I've had a few of those recently where they're like, hey, thank you for reaching out. I do want to see that house. And so I think, you know, just reminding yourself that some of the old school practices, just taking that list and looking at what you have and who's cold on your list, because the ones that are cold, they're going to come around. It's just a matter of, you need to stay with them, because if you don't, they'll go find someone else. It's really easy to do. So
Heidi, I think you mentioned a good thing there about blocking some time. You know, it's hard when you're working at home, is your schedule is completely different. Kids are not leaving the house when they normally, you don't have the events after school. You don't have the commitments on the weekend. So, you know, creating a schedule and having a routine, whether it's getting up and taking a walk, whether it's making breakfast for the family, but then like block an hour to go through those past leads, block a half hour to create 2 videos, you know, and start out small. Start out with something that you can imagine, you know, accomplish. You know, have that sheet. I love having a to-do list of 5 things. Now, granted, that list grows to like 20 by the end of the day, but crossing those things off and being able to send those videos out, and those touches are so important.
What percentage of your business now is newly generated versus referrals? Either one. Heidi, we can start with you.
Chris and I sat down and we talked a little bit yesterday about this. And I think this is where, you know, Chris and I work well together, is that I would say that I'm 80% or more referral. And so again, my practice is a little different, because I'm not fielding a lot of, you know, crazy leads that are coming in. But I've also learned over the years that's not the kind of practice that I want. I need a slow and steady, something that I can control. And that's where Chris and I play off each other. If I do get that lead that I just know I'm not going to go out and meet them, because it doesn't, you know, either it's a safety thing, we need to be accountable to, I need to be accountable to somebody. I'm not going to go out and show a house if I don't know who it is. So yeah, a lot of my business is 80% or more referral. More than likely, if I go to a listing appointment, I'm fortunate I'm not competing with anybody. I'm bringing paperwork and we're ready to go. But that's, again, it's me being in the business as long as I've been in the business, staying, you know, connected in the community, and doing a good job. You know, word of mouth is going to bypass any referral you can ever pay for. So Chris will probably have more insight on, you know, lead generation as far as, you know, what he's doing with those referrals, because mine is about 80% or more.
Yeah,
Well,
mine is probably 60-65% referral, with that 35 to 40% being new business. And part of that new business is the online leads, and part of the business is sign calls. I've had the benefit of having a pretty strong listing career the last couple of years. So I have signs out there, billboards that are on you know, the corners. So, and when people always like start, they want to see the house. They don't know how much it costs. They don't know if they can afford it. It's the neighborhood they've been thinking about. So a lot of times we've seen recently people are calling the sign. So once again, answering that phone right away and trying to get as much information without being pushy, and trying to find the connection. And then that's where, you know, oh, what do you want to know about the house? And can I get your phone? You know, I have your phone number. You called me. Would it be okay if I texted you the virtual tour for this house so that you can look at it while you're sitting on the street? And then from there, it's that engagement and follow up, and so that has been very beneficial.
That's good. I appreciate that. And everyone, I noticed we're at the top of the hour. If you have any questions for Heidi and Chris, any last questions or comments, please feel free to share those with us. In the meantime, we're going to have Chris and Heidi take us home, and they're going to share with us, so what advice would you give to a brand new agent who's just getting started on how they should go about prospecting for business, especially in the times that we're in right now, where can they get started? So we'll start with you, Heidi, and then we'll go to Chris.
I would say your number one is to find the people that you know want to support your business, whether it be, you know, family, church, join a club, sport, and get out there and again, make the connection with people, and then you can build your business from there. But it's also important, you know, with new agents, you know, we all started out once and we didn't start out with the paychecks that we have now. And so,
Yeah.
you know, if you can start with the foundation of getting online, again, make your content intentional, make it about you, not just my company, put your company with yourself online. You know, social media advertising is free, you know, for the most part. Go on, there's so many platforms you can use, and go out and try it all and find a different audience. Sometimes when you're connected, people forget, especially when they're new, that your best friend and even your family may not use you in real estate. It's a shocker when it happens, but it happens. And so go find a different audience. And that's kind of, you know, circling back to what I've done is, you know, again, at all levels, finding different people that, you know, when you put yourself on social media, you become a bigger target, but you find people that you connect with, you draw people in, and then they want to know about you and about what you're selling. And so, you know, make those letters, send 5 letters a week. You know,
Right.
if you haven't sat down with a Brian Buffini call, Tom Ferry, you reach out or even just go on YouTube. Their videos are available for you. Send people letters. You know, millennials love the handwritten letters, right? Just send something that they can open, send a hello. It's really easy. And then again, use all forms of social media that doesn't cost you anything. Use your resources. You know, we're so lucky at RE/MAX. We are so supported. We have tools that I would say most agents say at RE/MAX, some days we don't know where to start because there's so much to offer. And sit down, pencil some time in, you know, an hour a day just to go online and learn.
Excellent. Thank you. Chris, new agent.
Yeah, you know, find the things that you're involved in. And so if your kids are involved in a sport, you know, be involved. You know, I grab this, just have it sitting on my desk because I try and grab it when I go out. If I'm not wearing a shirt that has the RE/MAX logo or the hat on it, you know, it's okay to brand yourself a little bit. You know, be tasteful. You know, you can't dress head to toe in red and blue, but you know, maybe some of us can. But
That's
you know, when there's an opportunity to sponsor a sports team and then engage it, not where you're selling it, but you're gonna provide ice cream for after the game, or you know, those are things that, like, as my kids have grown up, I really started getting involved with, and just being me, you know, being the head coach and doing what I love. But hey, just so you know, I'm here helping your kid. When I'm not here, this is what I'm doing. And
yeah,
you know, it starts simple.
Yeah.
It is simple. Yeah.
You know, do the basics. I am a Brian Buffini past fan, or I'm a current fan, but past, you know, I've gone through the session a couple times, once or twice, just to get reminded and get back on that blocking and that scheduling and doing those tasks.
No, it's good.
John Palpi, our broker owner, I mean, he is fantastic about writing notes and follow-ups and phone calls on birthdays. And, you know, I just, you know, see someone that's successful like him, and you just kind of, you know, grab it, and it works. So
for sure. I've had a lot of conversations with brand new agents, especially for those that are even just out of college. You know, maybe they decided to get into the business because their parents are in it. But I remember a conversation that really stood out to me because it was with an agent who had just gotten out of college, and he decided to get his real estate license. And he said to me, he goes, I have no idea who to go to. And it was kind of funny because his mom was in the business, and he said, she has all the connections. How do I build my own, right? So here's what I said to him. I go, let me ask you something. Where did you go to high school? And he told me. I said, did you play sports? He says, yeah, I was in all kinds of sports. I said, what about your coaches? Your coaches need homes. They need, they know people, they know coaches know a lot of people in the community. So you kind of have to think out of the box a little bit. For those of you that are just getting started, go back to your past, go back to every teacher you ever had, make it known that you're now in real estate, you're in a position to help them. So there's just all kinds of ways to prospect, right? So Heidi.
And don't be afraid to like reach out to other small businesses.
Right.
Like the people that are putting my sprinkler out in my irrigation system in today. I'm going to take a picture of their trucks. I'm going to, you know, do something, you know, and promote their business on my business page. And hopefully that kind of will, you know,
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
keep building it going forward. So.
All right. Last call for questions. Heidi and Chris, any last words? And then we'll sign off.
Stay safe.
Yeah.
You know,
Be kind.
Be kind. Yeah. Love what you do and enjoy things.
Absolutely. Well, again, like we said at the top of the hour, wishing everyone the utmost peace, positivity, and strength. And let's all stick together. RE/MAX is huge, and we're all one, and we're one big family. So we'll get each other through everything.
We are.
Thank you so much to Heidi and Chris for sharing with everyone. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Goodbye, everyone, and goodbye, Facebook audience. And thanks for tuning in. Have a good day.